What am I supposed to do? You think I'm supposed to burn it? Okay. You drop the adult Merlin gave you into the blazing campfire. The dried stalk of wheat quickly catches fire, and you watch as the adult quickly burns to ashes. Merlin nods as the remaining cinders are burned aloft by the heat, that then carry away on the winter's wind. It may not amount to much more than a stopgap measure, but it's the surest way. Whew, a great work, me. Now I can finally wait. No, damn, I still have those 5 other things I said I'll look into. How would my life get like this? Merlin sighs, rolling his eyes in comically exaggerated expression. I got a long list of places clamoring for the great Merlin's help, you know? Thankfully, I get to cross this one off the list. My work here is done. I wish we run into each other when I have a little more free time on my hands, but ain't much I can do about that now. Maybe next time. I set up a local enchantment. Oh wait, since Merlin is a thing, you think in the future one of the arcana is gonna be mage and fighter? I feel like that is probably be a thing, right? Like, I feel like there's so much potential for that. Understood, and thank you. In my hearts of hearts, I want to stick around a little longer and shoot the breeze with you, Ursula. But I was actually on a really urgent mission, and I already put off getting back to it as long as I dare. So I gotta skedaddle. Anyways, catch you later. Eat, sleep, and make merry enough for the both of us. Oh, and maybe try to take it easy every now and then, okay? The sound of snow crunching beneath hurried footfalls quickly fades away. Man, that was really nice to see Merlin again. Loctus lets out a heavy sigh as he stares at the place where Merlin disappeared. On occasion, I do happen upon abnormally energetic people lost in mountains. On the whole, better than finding someone who's depressed, but being around people like that just wears me down so quickly. I feel like I'm ready to call it a day after 15 minutes. Speaking with him, or rather listening to him go on without much of a chance to get a word in, felt like just like that is not something one really grows accustomed to. But he seems to believe it will be safe around here. At the very least, we shouldn't have any phantasm stag leaping out from the future to charge us unaware. The unnaturally cold weather ought to begin subsiding as well. Ursula, after all that happened, I want to say thank you for helping me throughout this ordeal. I just wish there was more I could have done for you. Oh, don't worry, bro, you will. I know I have at times been rude. My shortcomings are on my full display. I'm grateful you chose to stick with me in spite of it all. In my mind, I keep coming back to that agreement we made. My intent was that I would aid you with your needs first, then you help me after. But the way things went, it turns out to be the exact opposite of what I planned. Oh, look at him blush. And I can't help but feel that due to the lack of ability on my part, I never forget how much you've done for me, Ursula. If you ever have need of my help, I am at your service, no matter how many years may pass. You have but ask, and I'll answer the call without hesitation. Now I'm going to take a look around and see if all that should be here is here, and ensure nothing that ought to be not here lingers still. Thanks to the circumstance, I've been unable to go about my normal mountain keeping duties, and I'll keep the needs to settle into my old rhythm again. Anyway, I'll see you next time you're in the mountains, whenever that may be. Matters here seems to have been wrapped up at least for a moment. Return to the Arcana Association room in Wrath Royal Castle and show Lair the cold burning flames. Bro, this is like 15 minutes. I'm gonna split this up. Alright. Welcome, Ursula. Any updates on your investigation? You have my thanks for your tireless work. I was beginning to worry since I hadn't heard back from you in a while. Normally, words of your adventure gets back to me while you're out and about, even if I'm not actively asking around. I guess you're just that much of a headline maker, Ursula. That's why I was surprised when I heard nothing about where you've been or what you've been up to. Perhaps even your popularity has its limit. Anyways, back to my research, I go. Or was there something you wanted to tell me? what you discover in Glenn Bearna. Tell Leia about what happened so far, as you speak animately about how the incident with Strange Seer led to learn about more about Kylek, venturing beyond Side Snatcher to Slab Mist, and the new type of smothering threads you found in Glenn Bearna. Leia finds just enough of a gap to finally interject. Wait. I'm going to need you to back up a bit there, Ursula. Sounds like you've gone through a lot, enough to constitute several separate reports, even. Leia grabs a sheet of paper and quill pen from his desk. You must be exhausted. Here, I'll write it all down as you tell me. I'll need to format this to a template I can use for multiple submission anyway, so that works out. Alright, my pen is at ready. Go on and tell me what you experienced, starting from the beginning. Kylek, Slab Mist, and then the new type of thread. Kylek. You tell Leia about Kylek, the one behind the events involving the Strange Seer. From what feels like a long time, you relay to Lauer, Merlin's speculation about what's happening and why, as well as the things Loiscneach experienced. You also describe Kylek's appearance and what you heard her say and seen her do. So this Kylek was the one who sent out those monstrous deer? That's certainly different from the being spoken of in the legend of existing accounts. I agree that with your assessment that this is likely not the same entity. Here's what I don't understand. If they're different entities, what reason would the new Kylek have to mimic the old? He does have a point. Why would she bound herself to the limits of copying the original one? Why not just create this whole new like persona or entity? Like, it doesn't have to be the god of northern winds or winter's wind or something. Could have been like the god of frost, the god of ice, or I don't know, something, the god of Morn Mountain. But then distorted? Or maybe it is Kylek, but it was corrupted. Moreover, I don't get why this being is so this powerful would display that power in such a blatant manner. It is so she was acting to imprint her existence upon our minds. I can't really speak as to what her exact objective might have been, but it's her goal was to leave behind lingering misconception about the real Kylek, truth's nature. I think she actually achieved that to some extent. And all that in spite of the fact that, thanks to your association's help, she's unlikely to be able to lead the fissure. I think Her Majesty would appreciate a robust report on this topic. Lauer jolts down the information you told him about Kylek. Make a small annotation here and there in the margin. I think I made notes of everything you mentioned. Now, what else can you tell me about? Slab Mist. You tell Lauer about your journey to Slab Mist, which lies to the north of the Morn Mountain. Recalling what Loiscneach told you, you relayed to Lauer that Slab Mist was once a deep labyrinth forest, but numerous strange paranormal phenomenon have changed the landscape over time to what it is today. Slab Mist, I consider myself decently educated in geography, but I never heard of the region. So what lies beyond the Morn range? Leia Quells pauses for a moment. You can almost see the wheels in his head turning. This may require a multi-discipline approach. I'd like to request the aid of several of the royal societies and associations, leveraging their collective expertise. After all, it's far easier to plan response with access to more information. Ideally, we want to know what's been going around the area, whether anything more is more likely to happen. It began more thorough a preparation after I deliver my initial report to Her Majesty. The question is, now... Damn. The question is how to prepare. Now, I mean, that log thing is so handy. Now I got it in my mind that it might not be a bad idea to hire that mountain keeper as a sort of our expedition guide. What do you think of him, Ursula, the mountain keeper, I mean? Describe his reputation in Tier Canal. Tell Lauer about how the rest of Tier Canal regard Loiscneach. As you conclude, you circle back to the idea that he's a bit eccentric, but that he has many admirable qualities not often seen in young men these days. And you're telling me the people of Tier Canal said all that? That goes beyond being generous. It's tantamount to ringing endorsement. Folks from the countryside tend to give their unvarnished opinion, whether good or bad. If they think that well of him, I have little reason to be concerned. Exercising the usual conscience should be plenty, if at all possible. I'd like to have his support. Being able to call on someone who knows those mountains like the back of his hand would be an incredible boon to us in our ongoing investigation. I fear it would be all too easy for even those with field expertise to lose their way amidst a heavy storm or inclement weather. Besides, as a local, I'm sure he'll be aware of any unusual happening in the area. This seems like a matter that should be brought to Sinead's attention as well. Lauer quickly takes a few notes, adding to his transcription of your report of slab miss. I think we made note of everything you mentioned. Now, what else can you tell me about a new type of arcana thread? You get the new type of thread to layer. To Lauer, damn. Excelsior, this is it. Worry. Ursula, this is it, Ursula. Lauer carefully examined the icy thread from every angle. It appears to burn, yet its aura is entirely cold. It's exactly as though I imagined it would be. Even when I was first describing it to you, I didn't think you would discover the exact substance. I have hypothesized as readily as you did with the strange flint before. How do you stumble upon these other whirling materials? Perhaps I ought to tell you about my half-formed conjecture more often, not less. I can't say where this new type of thread may appear in the future, but given its origin, I'm beginning to think that it might only be able to coalesce in a place where two conflicting elements coexist. They might be physical or even metaphorical, like the way you describe Kalak extending her endless winter by burning firewood that embodies the passage of time. It's a tricky set of conditions to meet, but it does reduce the scope significantly, making for fewer potential places we have to search. At least I know where to focus my investigation. I know I can't just keep asking you for one favor after another when you have plenty of other matters to attend to. This will be next on my agenda once I wrap up the association survey of the Fissured region. First, let's see if we can make use of this new thread. You certainly had yourself a strange adventure. To think it all begins in a research expedition to look for a new type of smoldering thread. Lauer pulls out a small arcana flame from one of his desk drawer and holds the icy thread to it. You feel a slight drop in room ambient temperature. With a frosty puff, the cold thread shrivels up in the arcana flame, melting away into nothingness. These new threads, frost flame threads, let's call them, possesses properties similar to smoldering threads we've been using. Worry not, that simple test has put my biggest fear to rest. The unstable nature we just observed is precisely what will make them easy to work with into a more enduring form. And most importantly, they won't offer any resistance to reinforcement or expanding crests that have already been augmented. On top of that, it appears that these threads too are drawn to you like cat hair, to a pair of clean trousers, just as smoldering threads are. My guess is that you'll be able to make use of them right away. I'm really quite fascinated. You notice how the temperature in here dropped a bit when exposed to the threads of the arcana flame, right? The property of the frost flame threads are fully in line with what I had speculated. That said, Lauer gazed into the small green flames gently swaying before him. These threads alone won't be enough to further the arcana link. The ice elemental properties obvious even to the layman will surely be of use in both stabilizing and reinforcement array developed arcana crests. However, their coldness, for lack of a better terms, seems to exert a stronger force than I thought it would. You saw the interaction between the threads and the arcana flame. At this level of potency, I'm concerned that the ethereal flame at the heart of the frost flame thread might dissipate when we try to process it, so you can't use it. Oh, that's not the case. We already know of a material tied to a flame, don't we? Damn. I can't open my inventory. Is it Arcana? Is it Mana? It was Lynx, right? Or something like that? Whatever, I'm a YOLO. Where's that Arcana? Seems like that's the correct answer. Remember that material in question looks like a piece of tangible string that glows like a flame. What? Is it threads? Smoldering? Yeah. Because he's using the frost flame and weaving it into the smoldering thread to stabilize it, and a way to reinforce it so we can further enhance past 5. But the frost flame thread appears as though they've been stabilizing effect on Arcana crest. But the problem is the dampening effect they appear to have on different type of energy related to their ice aspect in nature. No doubt that's why I believe investigating them Oh, wait, integrating them alongside smoldering thread as the answer to our problems. I mean, isn't that what I said? The idea is to look at each arcana and identifying the problem subject to the greatest stress. When power is channeled through the crest, those are the place we foster with the frost flame thread, after which we can apply additional smoldering thread to ensure a consistent throughput of energy that should let us build the arcana into even more intricate design. You know, explanation came out sounding rather convoluted, even to me. Perhaps it would be easier to understand if I relate it to a practice of enchanting. You apply enchantment to equipment before, right? You try doing it with an enchant scroll alone, the rate of success is low, and the scroll itself may crumble if the process fails. That's why standard practice these days use magic powder as a binding medium. When using a enchantment scroll, it makes the enchantment more likely to stick to the equipment, and even a failure will only reduce the scroll's durability rather than destroying it completely. The relationship I'm imagining between the old and the new threads is somewhat similar to that. The frostbite will reinforce the area of them on the crest that the existing smoldering thread aren't able to stabilize. Yep. Which is what we mentioned earlier, because we needed a strong and durable material or something to like keep it stable so it isn't too volatile. So in summary, smoldering threads will be enough to get Arcana Crest to stage 5, but unlocking its potential beyond that will require smoldering and frost flame. Is there anything else you're curious about? If we use frost flame thread, aha. Yes, I suppose that's a natural question, but as you saw it for yourself, these frost flame threads have an inherent coldness to them. Without some of the counterbalance seems to actively drive the ephemeral energy into Arcana Crest towards this dissipation. Oh wait, or whatever. It's vital to our progress that we enhance the Arcana we discover, but equally important is that doing so in a way that prioritizes their safety and stabilize it in use. Because we're trying to like let more people use Arcana right now. And if it isn't safe, then the kingdom would not allow it. Many people cherish you, Ursula, or otherwise hold you in high regard. They all be worried if something happened, and I'd rather not have our research be the cause of such an incident. Now, one more moment. Please, information unrecorded tends to dissolve with the passage of time. Much like the smoldering thread, we'll surely be seeing more of. I need to get this all properly written down and add to the Arcana Association body of research. Layer's quill springs into action as he records all the information that's quickly known about this new type of Arcana thread. The one behind the incident involving the monstrous deer in the lay of the land north of Side Snatcher. And discovery you made in Glenn Bearna. I got it all organized now, thank you. Alright, there's one more thing I'd like to request. I know Her Majesty is eager to see this report, so while I'm compiling everything I need to present to her, I was hoping I can ask you to deliver this first set of copies to Sinead. Oh, and be sure to tell her about the Mountain Keeper you worked it with. So I think you'll be able to describe his talent better than I, Ursula. Just trying to Damn, I've been reading so much, my throat, and I'm like stuttering. I'm just trying to optimize our workflow here. The sooner we hand off these report, the sooner we can get back to the studying of Arcana. Anyways, I'm counting on you. Okay. Nothing you're sent. You accept Lauer's letter and attach report. Thank you. Now to start transcribing another set for the Queen. Oh my god. So much reading. Oh, for a second, I thought that said Will. I was like, wow. Oh, hey! Matthias is here. What's today? It's Sunday, right? I forgot. What was his days he was supposed to be here? Oh, no, not the Moonlight Island. Such half the amount change decide that it must improve. Okay, I don't care about the Moonlight Island. Ursula, what do you have for me? Hand over the letter. You have Sydney. You give Sydney Lauer's letter along with the attached report. A field expedition report from the Arcana Association. Sydney skims over the report, then looks up at you. Hasn't been all that long since the Arcana Station was established. Seeing them this active array shows a lot of growth in a short time, which bodes well for their prospect. I hope they continue at this pace. A string of noteworthy accomplishments would do much to mollify those who question the Queen's judgment in founding a new association. I was like, mollify? Is that a word? As the association official patron, I think Queen Erwin will be quite satisfied when she reads this report. Anyway, now I have some idea on what to expect when I read through the report in greater detail. Is there any else I ought to be aware of? Alright. Bro. I have to spell his name? Damn it, Merlin. Why'd you jinx it? Bro, I'm looking this up. The most I can spell his name is Loch, and the rest is like gibble. Alright. Oh man, I got that wrong. Because I said Loch. It's not. It's Lois. EAC. That's right? Loch Ness, his name. I wanted you to pass along the info about the Mountain Keeper, whose aid could prove invaluable in the ongoing investigation. You told Signy about Loiscneach, the Mountain Keeper of Salab Mist. Is that so? Signy closed her eyes, organizing her thoughts. Silence settles upon the room like a heavy blanket. You could swear you hear the sound of the candle burning. Only after several minutes does Signy open her eyes, speaking now in her more authoritative tone of voice. It has not yet been determined whether the kingdom will dispatch an investigative team. Even if the decision is made, I cannot say whether or not it will be an official expedition. Nevertheless, as this matter involves a person and organization backed by the kingdom, I need to establish some sort of background on this individual first. First, what will you say this mountain teacher could offer to the investigation team? The only mountain keeper in Salab Mist. The mountain can be a treacherous place, especially for those unfamiliar with such environs. To retain his service as a guide will surely be a great help to any investigative effort in the region. That said, the fact that he is the only mountain keeper of whom we are aware is not in and of itself sufficient reason to hire him. After all, I cannot simply presume to be skilled at his vocation. It may prove more beneficial in the long term to find another individual possessing similar talent, who we know we can trust and have them familiarize themselves with the terrain. So the question then becomes, is there a compelling reason to employ this specific mountain keeper? He is an excellent guide. A guide? I would hope our team would never find itself in this position, but if a member of the investigation team goes missing, we could ask the mountain keeper for help finding them. Anything else? He knows the lay of the land. General wisdom cautions us to take nothing for granted, but probably safe to assume the mountain keepers are excellent at finding their way through the mountains. Still, I don't see the reason. While we're looking for here is a sound reason to hire him, something he brings to the table that we couldn't get from anywhere else. What? His sense of direction may really be something if you advocate for him to that extent. I mean, he did mention it before. But is it really that extraordinary? I'm sure his expertise would be of use in assessing any risk travel in the region present, or to point out changes in the terrain. I'll take what you told me into consideration. Judging by the fact that you delivered these reports to me rather than the head of the Arcana Association, I'm assuming he presented copies to Her Majesty personally. If so, then, Cindy glances out the window for a moment. I'm sure he's already met with the Queen. However, I just thought of something that would be most easily handled by you, Ursula. And I wager Her Majesty has come to the same conclusion. I think Erwin will also consider you the most able candidate, Ursula. If you be willing, of course. Of course. Of course it's me. It's always me. Why me? Yo, you have a purpley capable candidate. Who can help you? I have to save the world, guys. I'm busy. This is why I advocated for the Arcana people. I was like, look, remember when I kept talking? I was like, look, this would be good. These capable people who can do this other stuff while I handle the most dire stuff. I mean, we already got Merlin over here doing Merlin stuff and trying to keep the world in check because he seems like he's more knowledge about this world and the reality and the laws it has, like equivalent to that of a god, you know? And before Merlin is a god or something. Because his name is Merlin, that name carries a lot. Keeps you guessing sometimes, but you should visit Queen Erwin. Well, the Queen is definitely gonna be happy to see me. Bro, I thought this was the end. I was like, oh yeah, I might as well just push because I know it's gonna be over soon, but god damn, it's like an hour long. I'm gonna have to split this video. I'm sorry guys that you're just gonna get full of dialogue, lore, exposition, but hey, you're getting my reaction and my thoughts on it though. I mean, that's something. Seems like you have multiple inquiries for me, Ursula. There's no rush, let's cover them one at a time. Tell her about Glenn Bearna. A regal air befitting the ruler of the kingdom encompasses her petite frame. Her snow white skin makes her bright purple eyes seems to gleam all the more with lively determination. Excellent timing, Ursula. It's been a while since we last spoke. I actually just finished reading through Lauer's report. While it is no doubt another standout entry on your long list of accomplishments, I was quite excited that it is all proved to be such a grand first outing for Arcana Association. Though the first I read in this report, the more I begin to worry about everything you went through. Laura told me that you've been delivering reports to Cini so you could explain a few things in person, but to think she sent you along to me. Sometimes I think that woman knows my own thoughts better than I do. Knowing you're well put puts my heart at ease. There should be a comma right there. Knowing you're well puts my heart at ease, or knowing you're well puts my heart. I don't know, maybe not. Maybe I'm stupid. I guess it can work depending on the tone that the pace of your reading. Erwin looks towards you purposefully, her gaze clouded. She lowers her voice as if to draw you in a bit closer. I hate to bring this up in a time like this, but after reading over the report, I had a question, a favor to ask. Something to rack your brain over more that you're the only one who will actually know. First, the question. Who is the Jordan in the report? It sounds like you know him. What is he like? What? Phantombulus? Suck me mad wizard. And then Stowling. Or well, if you say so, I suppose I would have to believe it. After all, who could I trust if not you? I mean, true. We did go life and death together. I saved your life from a bunch of arrows and assassin and all that. Bro, you guys remember a couple gens ago when I was so mad at that one guy because he looked so suspicious? I forgot what was his name. Or the maid or something. It was mostly the guy. And no, it was the guy, and the maid was hurt and she was dying. I was like, it was him! He did it! And then we got that cutscene where he's like, Gump. He was like, my queen, go on without me. And then he's tried to stall the riders, and then he got shot with one arrow, and then he was like, I'm dead. And I couldn't stop laughing because that was so pitiful. Man. That was wild. What was it, G16? Now about that favor I wish to request. I tried to ensure that I found the right person for every task still to be done, but I could find no one better suited than these two. First, I'd like you to deliver this letter to Deep Duncan of Tier Canal. The investigation team is being sent out on an unofficial dispatch, and as such, it may be inadvised to send a messenger or any official service to the crown. I want Chief Duncan to be receptive to my words, and I think I have the very best chance of that if you place my letter in his hands yourself. Say you understand. You accept the letter as everyone places it in your outstretched hand. As for the other favor, there's a part of me that doesn't want to ask, especially after you just returned, but I'd like you to head back to Slam Mist, basically just check in on the state of things in the wake of the adventure. Several other royal societies and associations have expressed interest in sending one of their members on this excursion, but the support is contingent upon knowing that you have personally inspected the site and given the all clear. Thank you and be well. Oh, and I really appreciate it. I really appreciate everything you've done, Ursula. Aw, no problem, my queen. Anything for you. I literally risked my life to save you, and I would be upset if you were to die. Alright, so I believe it's to Duncan, right? Man, there's so much dialogue. But I love the dialogue. You know, I was hating it at first, but then I'm like, the more they drop lore and exposition, and then the flavor text for all this, it starts to grow on me. Like I'm playing Baldur's Gate 3. That's my feeling towards it. Although it did not have any emotional impact like the Crom Bass story did for me. It was still cool though. An elderly man watches over the town with a soft, confident gaze. While his leathery skin and gray hair or indicative of his long life. His eyes retain a youthful twinkle when he... Oh. You returned. Did you find what you sought? Tell him you found it. Good, good. I was feeling a bit put out that I wasn't able to help you before. After you went to find the Mountain Keeper, I didn't hear anything more about what you were up to, so I figured things must have gone well. If only my optimism hit the mark more often. When the weather suddenly eased up, I had a hunch that you might have had a hand in it. And then that's when I realized you likely gotten yourself and mixed in something larger than I realized. It's good to see you back, and none the worse for the wear, from the looks of things. So here you are, back on old Duncan's doorstep. I presume that means there must be something you want to ask me, right? Haha. When I saw you coming, I braced myself wondering what you asked about today. So don't keep me in suspense, hand over the letter. It's quite a fancy seal on this envelope. It reminds me of another letter I received once from the pen of Alec Monarch. Duncan begins reading the letter, his bony fingertip tracing beneath each line as he goes. I see, so this is about Kylek. I believe I mentioned this before, but in case you need to refresh your memory, Kylek is a god who burns firewood representing the old years, bringing the onset of winter while simultaneously clearing the way for the coming of the new year. The legend says that winter ends when she has no more firewood left to burn. She's not a deity of a particular significance in a history or legend. None worship her that I know, and I wouldn't be at all surprised if most of these states had never heard of her. Amongst the many gods known in this land, she is the only closely intertwined with nature itself, and with the natural world and the flow of life. From all that I have heard of her, I don't believe she would act in such a way as to intentionally harm anyone or aid them. Had I not heard your first-hand account, I would find it difficult to accept what I'm reading here. Though it seems unlikely this entity could ever escape the future, I should warn the villagers to stay out of the mountain for a while the same. But it looks like Trevor will have his work cut out for him. Duncan gives you a knowing smile. But listen to me rambling on while you stay here, obliging. Don't you worry, I'll be sure to send a swift reply to a letter you deliver. There's no need to wait around. I'll send the response off myself. Hopefully the next time we talk, I'll have some positive news for you on that front. Until then, don't worry about it, Duncan. Thank you for seeing it all the way here personally, Ursulith. Duncan lets you depart as he turns his attention back to the letter. The last remaining duties on your to-do list is to investigate the area around the entrance, Glenn Bearna, where the team will likely be dispatched to conduct an investigation. Go to Slab Mist and investigate the site. Oh man, Duncan, you stay well too. You are like the GOAT. You're like one of the core anchor, keeping me sane in this world. Wait, didn't they give us something to teleport? Oh, I guess not. Alright, I guess don't get on the mount. Thank you, game. Man, this is a long pathway, huh? Oh, what's over here? Kinda looks like something to be added over here. Wait, did I back? Oh, god damn it! Oh, Ursulith. His pale green eyes widen slightly in surprise. Your friend was right. Access to many places in these mountains is still blocked by barriers. I set out from Slab Mist trying to figure out what to do, and before I knew it, I found myself back here. Arport ran off into the woods before I could do anything to stop him. Blind One always said he was such a good boy, but this dog seems like he just does what he wants. So what brings you out to my neck of the woods? Talk about the investigation team. You tell Lochnes that you're making a brief survey of the area before an investigation team dispatch. You also asked him if he'd be interested in joining the team. Does that mean the investigation here will be ongoing? Will you be taking part as well? So, will you be willing to give me any firewood you happen to come across in Glenn Bearna? I won't ask any to pay for assisting the team. Knowing that you're an essential part of the investigation is enough for me. All I will request is some firewood. After all, any piece could be the soul of one of my fellow mountain keeper. After a short pause, Loiscneach continued, his voice slightly subdued. Given recent event, I had sought to discourage anyone from passing through the mountains, but I think it's fair to make an exception in this case. I will join the investigation team, and not just to find more pieces of firewood. I think doing so within my duty as a mountain keeper. Oh, and before I forget, there's something I want to give you. Nothing too special, mind, but... Loiscneach reaches into the leather satchel at his waist and draws something from it. It's one of my mobile, the one I was working on when we first met. I've been waffling over where to give it to you for a while now, but knowing you be coming here to complete the investigation clinched my decision. You see, this mobile has the power to transport its owner to the place where it was made. When I was learning to make mobiles, I was told that the materials used when strung together in certain ores and combination grants them magical properties. That's just the oral tradition among us mountain keeper, mind you. I'm afraid I don't have a more technical explanation for how it actually works. I did, however, ensure that it does what it's supposed to. Of course, should you need to make room in your bag, you can always leave it with me for safekeeping. I'll make my way down to the trailhead and guide the team to Slab Mist. May the cold winds of the mountain ever be ever at your back. The slight palala shines warms up your face. Safe travels, Officer Lift. Loiscneach gives you a curt bow, heading towards the path. Still, there's many questions that wants for your answer, from the sudden appearance of Glenn Bearna to the barriers surrounding Slab Mist. However, at the very least, the currents appears to have closed. On the tales of Kylek and her unnatural winter. A Fantasia of endless winter. Alright. Oh wow, they made it here. Oh man, all these strong people. I want to check their gears. Oh, I heard that gacha gear isn't a thing in Korea. Apparently, they don't do that. Because they said the last gacha gear thing or pay to win, it was Enchant 67 or something, whatever that is. Alright, what's next? Oh, we're done. Wow. I wonder, can you sit on this? And all these people here. Now, can I just have some quiet, please? Why? There's people everywhere. It's like filled. I mean, at least this is decently quiet, right? But with that, we're done with another side quest, which was, I have to pull it up. What is it? Dark Winds? Dark Dreams of Winter Wind. Which is nice that we finished. A long quest with so much dialogue, but it wasn't that bad, honestly. I kind of enjoyed it. Because I love the exposition, the lore, learning about Loiscneach and where he's a conscious guy, but then gets knocked out by some random ass grandma. And then we get some more lore on the arcana and the way it works, the way it flows, kind of like mana or chi. Except it's like a crest, and we're reinforcing it using the threads. Well, and this time, mixing the frost flame with the smoldering. So, well, because they didn't name drop, they hinted at a sun god. I wonder, are we gonna meet the sun god sometime? Because they said at least this Kylek is not the real one, or at least they assume. But it could be a corrupted version or an echo of it, kind of like it's a side where there's like the echo of the spirit, right? So I wonder if that's gonna come into like something in the future for a further generation. But I guess we'll see. But with that, I guess we're done. Anyways, thanks for watching. Love you guys. Stay safe, and I'll see you next time when we continue whatever I'm gonna do.